don't ever come between a man and his meal. Most would have to run the streets for years to learn a lesson that profound. It took me 2 seconds. Never get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
What if I told you that the most dangerous man in Hollywood right now isn't an actor or executive, but a retired NFL star with a podcast mic? Shannon Sharpe built Club Shay Shay into a viral empire, but now he's caught in a narrative that's spiraling out of his control. With a jaw-dropping lawsuit, leaked audio, and a $100 million deal hanging by a thread, it's all unraveling fast. And then Dave Chappelle stepped in, accusing powerful insiders of orchestrating a takedown. This isn't just celebrity drama, it's a war for control, reputation, and silence. Because when your podcast starts pulling in millions of views and sharing everyone's secrets, someone's bound to want you gone. But is Shannon the victim or the villain in this case? You're about to hear what really happened behind the scenes and why this case might be the biggest power play Hollywood's seen in years. It all started with a lawsuit that hit like a wrecking ball. Out of nowhere, Shannon Sharpe was slapped with disturbing accusations by a woman named Gabriela Zuniga. She alleged that during their months involved together, Shannon crossed multiple lines. According to her complaint, the former NFL legend allegedly shattered any boundaries. Gabriela claims she was manipulated, pressured, and repeatedly violated, beginning when she was just 19. She says Shannon not only refused to stop when she begged him to, but also filmed their private encounters, sometimes without her consent, and allegedly shared the footage with others. The lawsuit wasn't just damaging because of what it claimed, it was the personal nature of the accusations that really shook things up. According to her, the power imbalance was undeniable. She was a teenager when they met, and Shannon was decades older, with influence, money, and a platform she could never match, and it didn't stop there. Her attorney, high-powered litigator Tony Busby, came forward with receipts. He revealed that Shannon's team allegedly offered Gabriela a staggering $10 million to settle the matter quietly, an offer Gabriela flat-out rejected. Shannon's lawyer admitted the offer was made, though he framed it as an attempt to avoid public spectacle, not an admission of guilt. Still, the timing couldn't have been more suspicious. The lawsuit dropped just 24 hours before Shannon was reportedly set to close a new 9-figure podcast deal, one that would have catapulted Club Shay Shay straight up to the top. What followed were leaked texts and screenshots, some explicit, others seemingly consensual. It created a whirlwind of confusion, with both sides claiming to hold the real truth. Behind the headlines, something felt strategic. Gabriela had lawyered up with someone known for going after giants. But whether the accusations are real or part of something more calculated, the damage to Shannon's name was immediate and irreversible. The final blow came when Gabriela and her team dropped audio recordings that made the entire situation take a darker, more disturbing turn. In one clip, Shannon's voice can allegedly be heard making a threat. "If you say that word one more time, I'm gonna blank out of you when I see you."
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to out of you when I see you.
The tone was cold, calculated, like the voice of someone exerting dominance. Another clip made things even more uncomfortable. Shannon allegedly joked about being a big black guy with a small white woman in public.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke in public. Big black guy, small white woman.
The racial undertones and power dynamics sent shockwaves across social media. This wasn't just an issue of consent anymore. People were now questioning Shannon's mindset, his control, and whether these behaviors extended beyond one relationship. What made the recordings even more offensive was that they didn't sound playful or staged. Busby made it clear these weren't taken out of context or twisted. They were raw, real, and in his words, dangerous. Suddenly, this wasn't just a war of words or screenshots. It became an audible, undeniable experience that made the allegations feel terrifyingly real. When Dave Chappelle stepped out of the shadows and started calling Shannon Sharpe's lawsuit a setup, people paid attention. Chappelle suggested the whole case might be part of a coordinated hit job to destroy Club Shay Shay right before it reached its peak. According to him, Gabriela Zuniga isn't acting alone. Dave claims she's allegedly backed by some of the most powerful names in the entertainment industry, people with serious reasons to take Shannon down. Dave made it sound like he'd seen receipts. He painted a picture of Shannon becoming a problem for Hollywood Hollywood's elite because he gave a microphone to people who usually get silenced. And that's when things got dangerous. "They're trying to end him," Dave reportedly said during a closed-door conversation, "and they don't care what it costs." What started as a laid-back sports podcast quickly morphed into something far more dangerous. Club Shay Shay wasn't just pulling in big numbers, it was revealing everything hidden. The format was simple: let celebrities speak freely. But the outcome was explosive. One by one, his guests stopped playing by the industry rules. They were airing out the dark corners of their careers. And Shannon, maybe without realizing it, became the middleman for chaos. What made it worse was that Shannon wasn't some outsider. He was respected, charismatic, and connected. When someone like that gives a voice to the people Hollywood wants to silence, they become a threat. Major studios, networks, and publicists started paying closer attention. The show wasn't just commentary anymore. It was turning into a launchpad for career destruction. And as the clips went viral and the audience grew, it became clear Club Shay Shay wasn't just a podcast, it was a liability to the people who rely on silence to stay on top. The real turning point came when Cat Williams sat across from Shannon and let it all fly. With over 80 million views, it became the most watched podcast interview on the platform. Cat wasn't holding anything back. He didn't come to chat, he came to expose it all. He called out comedians by name, slammed industry gatekeepers, and accused fellow entertainers of stealing material, and stripped the entertainer, Kevin Hart. No one was safe, and Shannon let it happen. He gave Cat the space, and that's what made it dangerous. Cat questioned why Shannon was so quick to challenge black entertainers, but seemed to tread lightly when it came to others. He accused Shannon of playing favorites, of picking apart his own community for views and validation. Hurt people, Cat said. But I've been hurt and never hurt nobody. Shannon does it all the time. Fans were stunned, celebrities were furious, and industry insiders were fuming. Club Shay Shay was no longer just a podcast, it was a platform for rebellion, and the Cat Williams interview was the match that lit the fuse. From that point forward, Shannon was a target. The moment Cat Williams aired out names, Hollywood's elite closed ranks. Cedric the Entertainer was the first to respond, firing back with a public statement denying Cat's claims and dismissing the accusations as revisionist history. He reminded fans of his long resume and warned that not everything said in viral interviews should be taken as truth. Then came Kevin Hart. Across multiple platforms, Kevin went into defense mode, calling Cat a bitter clown and accusing him of deflecting blame for his own missteps.
I also take full responsibility for any and everything that I've done in the fucking business, good or bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position at one point.
You were the guy.
Yeah.
You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You f***ed off promo shoots. You f***ed off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. So when you say,
Hey, Kev, you didn't say nothing to Cat Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Well, do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Perk? Which one do you do? What do you do? You watch it. You go, man, look at that lion riding the bike. That's what you say.
He pointed out that Cat had big opportunities and blew them by being unreliable and hard to work with. But things escalated even further when Monique stepped into the ring. Her appearance on Club Shay Shay reignited old flames, naming powerhouses. Like Oprah and Tyler Perry as part of the machine that blackballed her, once again, Shannon didn't cut the mic, and just like with Cat, it stirred up chaos. What once looked like honest conversations was now being framed as a vendetta that made Shannon look less like a host and more like a disruptor, and in Hollywood, disruptors get punished. As the scandal deepened, another theory began to spread that turned the spotlight directly back onto Shannon Sharpe. Whispers started circulating that Shannon had been quietly stockpiling leverage on his celebrity guests. The claim was that he was allegedly editing out the worst moments from interviews and keeping that unaired footage for himself, not for legal reasons, but as a form of insurance blackmail. According to multiple online sources, Shannon's uncut recordings included damaging stories, secret confessions, and off-the-record comments that never made it to YouTube. And if the rumors are true, he allegedly used this content as silent protection, ensuring no one who sat across from him could turn on him without risking their own exposure. That narrative gained traction fast, especially after Dave Chappelle hinted at a bigger agenda behind the lawsuit. Fans began connecting dots, wondering if someone powerful felt threatened by what Shannon knew, and more importantly, what he might release if cornered. While the headlines focused on lawsuits and leaked messages, few realized just how high the stakes really were. Shannon Sharpe wasn't just hosting a podcast, he was on the verge of closing one of the biggest media deals in the game, but just as the finish line came into view, the scandal hit. The lawsuit was filed mere hours before Shannon's team planned to announce the deal. The timing was too precise to ignore. Negotiators pulled back, and suddenly, networks that once lined up for his signature started going quiet. Even Shannon's legal team called it out publicly, describing the filing as a strategic ambush. In one move, Shannon went from negotiating generational wealth to trying to salvage his brand. This wasn't just about reputation, it was about erasing him from the business entirely. Whether he survives this storm won't just depend on the courts, it'll depend on whether anyone in power is still willing to stand behind him. No matter which side you believe, this story is far from over. What started as a podcast has spiraled into one of the most chaotic scandals in Hollywood, entangling lawsuits, leaked tapes, and whispers of silent power plays. Shannon Sharpe isn't just fighting for his reputation, he's fighting for the survival of everything he's built. And with every new detail, the lines between victim and villain blur even more. Is he a man caught in a calculated smear campaign, or someone whose past has finally come back to haunt him? Hollywood has a long memory and a low tolerance, and when you give the silenced a mic, you might just end up silencing yourself. One thing's for sure, Club Shay Shay changed the game, and now he's facing the consequences. Let us know where you stand, and if you thought this was wild, it's just the beginning.